What's up everyone? So as you guys probably already heard, the OnePlus 60 was just announced. It hasn't been released yet to the general public, and because I am not important enough in OnePlus's eyes to get a device like this or even be invited to this event, I guess I have to go ahead and do my own research and everything like that. So OnePlus, if anybody from OnePlus is listening, can I please be invited to the next year's event? That's all I want. That's all I want for my birthday. I'm gonna beg for that for Christmas. Just please OnePlus, invite me to the next event. I love your guys' phones. Your guys' phones are freaking awesome. Hey, you guys still don't invite me, what the heck? But between both these phones, I'll be honest, a lot didn't change in terms of the speed and performance. I mean, the OnePlus 6 was already super fast, so the OnePlus 6T in terms of speed and performance should be about the same. But what I will tell you is the OnePlus 6T, in my opinion, is a pretty big improvement from the OnePlus 6. So I just had the OnePlus 6, I still have it, and I like it a lot. It's a very good phone overall, but the OnePlus series of phones I've literally loved since even the OnePlus 1, and the OnePlus 6T is kind of like an incremental refresh. So if you guys don't know, OnePlus pretty much refreshes their phone twice in a year. So they release one usually in like May, then they refresh it later on in like October, and this phone is being released in November. So what I'll tell you is, just from the exterior, you can already tell that a little bit has changed. So we now have a different style notch. So the top is like a teardrop kind of thing, where in the OnePlus 6 it was like a, like the iPhone 10 kind of notch. So in terms of that, you can already see that it's already changed, and because of that, they did make the screen a little bit larger. So it actually has a 6.41 inch screen now. Before on the OnePlus 6, it was a 6.2 inch screen. I think that might have something to do with the notch because they decreased it. But they did also make the phone a little bit longer, just a little bit. The bottom bezel is actually a little bit thinner as well. So that's pretty cool. You have a little bit of a bigger screen and less notch. So that's actually really awesome. The resolution is just a little bit higher on the OnePlus 60 just because it is a bigger screen. But they have the same pixels per inch, the same pixel density, everything. So really, I didn't really hate the OnePlus 6 screen. I think it was pretty good. It's an AMOLED screen, 1080p. So the OnePlus 60 is just kind of like a little iteration of just improvement there. They also took out the headphone jack, which was kind of funny. But that's okay. I mean, that's expected. All phone manufacturers are doing that now, so it's not even that big of a deal. But one of the main things that I love about this release and what they did was crazy. And they're not the first people to do it. I already know. I said that in the OnePlus 6T leaks video that I did. And can you guys give me credit? Dude, my renders that I made were actually pretty accurate to what this phone looks like now, right? But what OnePlus did was they put an in-screen fingerprint sensor, which allows you to just put your fingerprint on the screen and unlock your phone that way. Now, like I said, they're not the first people to do this. I think the Vivo or whatever phone manufacturer did it before. But what they said is that they are the first phone manufacturer to do it inside the US. So if you think about it like that, if OnePlus is able to do this, right, at such a low price point of $549, this is just going to be a humongous push to put in-screen fingerprint sensors for most other phone manufacturers. So if OnePlus did it, there were leaks and rumors that Samsung was going to do it next year in 2019. And I'm pretty sure if OnePlus did it, I think Samsung is 100% going to do it, because they're not going to have old technology in their phones. And like I said, they're not going to copy OnePlus. They were already planning on doing it, but this just kind of pushes that narrative that they're going to do it. And what I'm saying is, if Samsung is going to do it, almost 99% I'm positive that Apple's going to do it later on in this year. So just kind of think about it like that, okay? OnePlus is going to kind of be that domino effect to make sure all these other phone manufacturers push fingerprint sensors on their phones too. So that's really cool. I'm surprised OnePlus is doing it first in the US. Like I said, at such a low price point, but that's what you get, man. Kudos to OnePlus for doing that. In terms of the specs inside, they both have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845, an octa-core CPU, and they both, depending on the variant you get, either have 6 gigs or 8 gigs of RAM. Now, one thing that OnePlus did that was really cool was that they actually increased the bottom storage size. So before, the bottom storage size was 64 gigabytes, which is the same one I have, but they actually increased that to 128. So now the baseline storage is twice the amount for actually the same exact price, which is super cool. Now, 6 gigs of RAM is crazy, and you can obviously get the 8 one if you want. I think it's only like $20 or $30 more, so that's really up to you, man. But another humongous thing that they did, and I literally love them for doing this, and I always praise phone manufacturers for pushing bigger batteries in their phones, and they actually did it. They went from a 3300 milliamp hour battery to a 3700 milliamp hour battery to the OnePlus 6T. And I'll be honest, I don't think the OnePlus 6 battery life was that bad, but the 6T battery life, according to what they're saying, is going to be much, much better, which is literally amazing. I cannot thank them enough for doing that. There really needs to be a push and a narrative for phone manufacturers to make bigger batteries in their phones. And like I said, if OnePlus is doing all this like type of engineering, they're able to push boundaries a little bit. I mean, they're not doing anything super crazy. The fingerprint sensor thing is kind of insane, but what I'm saying is that if a phone manufacturer that's kind of smaller than a lot of other phone manufacturers, when you compare them to sizes like Samsung and Apple and even LG, how come this phone company is able to push so many boundaries, whereas the older companies are just like still like left in the dust? And I kind of allude this to like Tesla in a way, because Ford and Toyota and all these companies were out there for so long that they just kind of, made incremental upgrades to their line of cars every single year. But then Tesla came out, and in like 2012, they made the Model S, and then 2013 and all this stuff, and then they totally disrupted things, and now cars are really pushing way more technology inside the cars. And Tesla is just a new company, and I kind of think the same thing with OnePlus. They're a new company, they're new kids on the block, so they're really trying to push as much as they can, and that's why they're releasing the same phone twice in a year. Not the same phone, but an upgrade of the same line of phone in a year, so they can actually go and make as many changes and make as many improvements so they're up to date. So man, I think that's crazy. I think honestly, as a whole, if you have a OnePlus 6, it's going to definitely be worth it to upgrade, but I don't think there's really like a hurry to do it, just because like it's the same performance and same everything. I still think the OnePlus 6 is an amazing phone, but the OnePlus 6T is just that much better. So if you had to choose between one, definitely the OnePlus 6T. The used prices for the OnePlus 6 are probably going to drop a little bit more. I mean, like I said, both phones are still really cheap. They don't feel cheap. They still feel like a very premium phone. And I mean, I'll be honest, I'm very, very surprised by the OnePlus 6T. Not only do you get a better camera and a bigger battery and all these things, but you also get newer technology with that fingerprint sensor in the screen. So kudos to OnePlus. I love you guys. Please, just next year, can I please be invited to the event? That's all I want. If you're watching this video, I need you to follow me on Twitter. So when that time comes around for OnePlus's next event, you can tweet them and me at the same time and tell them to send me an invite to their event. I'd really appreciate it. But that is pretty much it. I have love for OnePlus. I have love for OnePlus 6T, and I have so much love for the OnePlus 6 as well. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel that is also linked down below. I would really appreciate if you guys could check that out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.